With that, we're pleased to welcome Nelson Mendez and
Thank you.
Mr. Cappuccino. As soon as you hit that button,
Okay. And then to pass it as
just hit the button and that'll start.
Okay. Let's see.
Mr. Cappuccino! Flavors, quality, and consistency. That's what Mr. Cappuccino offers. Espressos, cappuccinos, macchiatos, fresh made, bean to cup by Italian automatic machines. At coffee shops, restaurants, offices, clinics, and vending locations. Pamper you and pamper your customers. And now, a real Italian cappuccino experience at home. Visit our webpage and get yours now at MrCappuccino.net. Hey, Mr. Cappuccino!
That was, good morning everyone, my name is Nelson Mendez. That was an award that we got after COVID. Spectrum TV did a grant and they did a content to get this award. They did this video for us and we were in 12,000 spots during 3 months. The only bad thing was that when we had only 1 month, I saw that not many people talk about the ad. I mean, Spectrum TV had many channels. And then I saw once, and they were making in Nickelodeon at 3 a.m. and something like that. So I said, listen, this is not working for us. We're a B2B business. So we convinced them to do it the last month only in the news and all that. So we got some answers about that. Well, this is me. My name is Nelson Mendez. My company is Rico Foods Company, doing business as Mr. Cappuccino. During our time in the Spanish Chamber, everybody called me Mr. Coffee, Don Café, Señor Espresso, whatever. so you know, the marketing gurus, they told me, hey, listen, that can be a good hook. Why don't you register that as a trademark? So I did a search. I did it by myself. With the USPTO, we did the US trademark of Mr. Cappuccino that was not taken for anyone. So that's our US trademark since 2 years ago. I'm graduated in Spain of hotel management and tourism a little while ago. In Venezuela, I had my own company since 1984 of hotels and supply for equipment and supply for hotel and restaurant. That was my business since 1984 until Mr. Chavez came up and changed everything. So one of my customers, a hotel owner, asked me to look for one coffee machine, and he showed me the picture. It was a Nescafe machine. So I called Nestle, and they were starting a Nescafe project in Venezuela in 1998. So they told us, call this person, is going to import the machine. I talked to that person, was a German guy. He didn't want to go inside Venezuela. I had offices all around Venezuela, and in 5 years we installed 962 Nescafe machines there. Every year we travel to Italy to visit a machine manufacturer, coffee processor, milk processor, and then we learn a little bit about coffee. When we moved here 10 years ago with my family, a family of 4, we started this business from zero, taking advantage of that little niche of the Hispanic taste of coffee that we are used to have. So we found the same manufacturer of the machine of Nescafe was imported here in Miami. So we made a deal with them to use their machine and their product to have it here in Central Florida and up. And up, I mean the other states of the United States. So we already have 15 years in expertise in this business, and our business consists in sell the product. We sell the coffee beans, the milk, the choco, the vanilla, all from Italy, all made in Italy. That's why you felt that difference in the flavor. And also the machines that made in Italy. The machines are Italian machines that grind the bean at the moment, makes an espresso, and then mix it with milk or chocolate depending on your choice. Our business is to sell the product. We put the machine in your place. If you make more than 600 coffee with milk per month, you don't pay anything for the machine. You only buy the product, and it's a $6,000 machine. So that's what we do. Right now we are in restaurants, offices, break room, hospitals, in the doctor's lounge where they drink coffee as crazy. University, college, whatever you sell coffee, we can be there. We have the right size of machine for the location that we have. Always maintaining the same concept. Grinding the bean at the moment to make a fresh espresso, a fresh Italian espresso. Those are Italian machines and the beans come from Italy, so it's a real Italian espresso. And then mix it with milk or chocolate depending on your choice. The ladies are not in the deal. So,
Sorry, report.
So after 10 years here in Orlando, and also because of my age, I'm a 68 guy. In next August 69, so I have to be preparing my retire. So thinking about this country, thinking about the opportunities of this country, and thinking about an idea that I had many years ago. We started this before COVID, but COVID changed everything. We start selling the franchise of the business model. That business model that you heard that we do, we are offering the opportunity to other people to do that, to do the same, starting from zero. If they have more money, well, they can start from 10, from 0 to 100. But if they don't have enough money, they can start from zero like we did 10 years ago. With 8 machines, with my car, in my garage, my phone, my laptop, and all that. Okay. You know, franchise is a way to expand your business with the money of other person, with the time of other person, with the market of other person, in the area of other person. So that's why we choose franchising to expand our business. It's a very attractive franchise because the low investment, trademark, exclusive territory, 24/7 by phone support, and as I told you before, the experience that we have 10 years in the market, we know where to knock doors and where not to knock doors. We have paid that penalty too. So, coffee, everybody like coffee? When you offer to somebody, you don't have to pay anything for this kind of machine. You only have to buy the product. And you say, how is that? Okay, let's talk. Talk. Right now, we have 2 big companies in the United States that they are helping us to market our franchise. We start this year, we only have been 2 exports. People like it. It's amazing how people, they ask because it's interesting. It's a business model that not many people have. So that's one of our way to market our franchise. The other one is this, making presentation. The other one is networking, and that's it. Nelson Mendez doing business at Mr. Cappuccino.
Sorry about this. Do you have a contact slide?
No, I don't think so. Well, MrCappuccinoFranchise.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And we're going to open up to some questions. We'll start with Roger.
Go ahead, Roger.
So in your franchise, when someone purchases it, do they also get locations within that, or do they have to go find all their locations?
Okay, we help them in the trading period. We teach them how to market and look for places. And in the training period, we also help them with the first 2 or 3 customers you have. But I always say that it's your territory. You are choosing your territory. I don't know your territory. Okay, I can teach you how to get the places, how to teach with the people, how to deal, what sign and what not to sign. But it's your area. You know better than me or than us the area where you are. But we are working on that. We're working on that in order to have some kind of company that they can give you hot leads and all that kind of things that is good for any kind of business.
Brace yourself, Bert.
How many different machines you have? Is this based on capacity? You should just have one model.
The one that we're using for the franchise is the one that is outside, that is capable to make 12-ounce cup too. The vending size machine that we have, they only can make 8-ounce cups. But in the market, we can find, especially for the vending operation. But for the tabletop operation, this one is favorable for restaurant and offices and all that.
You've been in business for 10 years. I know the prices vary and the profit varies, but what's your average?
Gross profit is between $200 and $300 per machine.
A month?
A month, yes, of course. Net profit, I mean, not gross profit, net profit.
What you are doing is fantastic. Exactly the way it should be built, a business should be built.
Thank you.
Yes, I
Thank
know
you.
this
Thank
business
you.
inside out.
I was too,
We'll
fast
talk
because-
about it. You're doing it perfect. Don't mess around with it. I think the right way to retire, the way you're planning, perfect. Let's talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Repairs, so you say the machine might come free if you buy a certain amount of product, but, what happens when it breaks? Do you have technicians, who does the repair?
When it breaks by a technical issue, we do it. We have technicians, we train the people, the person that buy the machine, we disassemble one machine and we assemble again, and the machine has to work. So now they know how to get to a part to change it or whatever, so.
And you outsource companies that come and fix the machine.
Excuse me?
You outsource companies.
Yes,
that
we
fix
are the company that fix the machine, we have the parts, we have everything.
Okay, his question was, do you
Outsource.
outsource that? So if you've got, let's say you've got a franchise in North Florida, do you travel up to North Florida to make the repairs?
We train the franchisee to fix the emergency issues.
Okay,
If they have a big issue, or we go there, or we take here the machine.
okay.
But that hasn't happened in 10 years.
So you don't have one unit, you have, everywhere you go, you have different people that work with that.
We train somebody in each
Different
place
states.
to give, the first aid to the machine.
So the the franchisee can do a triage.
Yes.
If they have to, if something
Yes.
catastrophic goes on, if it's beyond their
That's right.
capabilities, then you. I've got a question. Currently, how many franchisees do you have?
Right now, we have only 3,
Okay.
because we started 2 months ago.
And what's their entry fee?
What?
What's their franchise fee? How's that set up?
Franchise fee?
Mhm.
$15,000.
Okay,
Franchise fee. Because separated to that, they have to buy the machines and the product. And the smaller packet that we have is 8 machines, $56,000 with 2 months of product.
okay.
Exclusive territory, the use of the trademark, the training in Orlando and the training in their location, all that is included in that part. So the total for the basic package is $72,000
Okay.
to start
So-
the business with a machine like that.
And is that a minimum setup, 8 machines?
Yeah, because that's how we start, and that's how the numbers, are interesting. One
That's
machine,
right.
2 machines, that's not business.
Okay,
But we can also be 20 machines if the person has
Sure.
the total capital to do that.
You tied into the coffee product, you have to buy your coffee product.
Yes, of course, that's the business, that they buy the product from us. The coffee, the milk, the vanilla, and the chocolate.
Okay.
Piggybacking on the franchise fee, is there also a net worth requirement that the franchisees must have?
But yes, we ask for some, normal fees that we ask for. A person maybe have to be capable to change the gasket of the blender at home.
well, I think she's talking financially. Do you have, the
Network
financial
requirement.
profile of your
Okay,
franchisee?
sorry,
Do they have a
We
particular?
have third-party finance available. We don't do it directly, but we have third-party that they have different programs, SBA, lease to buy, lease to own, and all that kind
Okay,
of.
so they would need to qualify for that.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Which locations for yourself or your franchise owners are the most lucrative as far as sales, and which kind of business is
Okay.
the best for you?
The best one that we have now, please, that doesn't go out from this world, is a hospital doctor's lounge. We have for a minimum of 30 coffee per day to be in business, to be a good business. We have machine 120, 140 coffee per day. That's crazy. We have to put a second machine beside because the first one was not enough. So the best one are at hospital in the doctor's lounge, not in the emergency room, not in the doctor's lounge, because the hospital pays to you. That's amazing.
So I'm kind of doing some math in there. The capacity of one machine is around 60 or so cups of coffee a day?
60, 80 with milk.
Okay,
Black coffee, it has about 250.
okay, and that's them filling it up and checking it
That's-
every day?
That's why we train somebody in
Okay.
the place to clean the machine every day, refill it, and do, first aid things. That's it.
Okay.
What's the cost of each cup?
$1.25 average.
Cost.
Average.
That's your cost? That's the
Yes,
Okay.
that's the cost for the customer.
Oh,
the franchisee.
Price.
Price.
What about the
The
cost?
The cost is 47% of 125. 47%.
Okay.
That's the cost for the franchisee. Okay, but for the hospital is 125. And for the customer in a coffee shop, maybe $4, $5, whatever, you know that.
I want to suggest an idea to you.
Go ahead, I'm here to listen every tip you have to tell me.
I can see you doing a series of comedy commercials to brand your name. Like we have the famous Juan Valdez guy.
Juan Valdez, right.
Piggyback off of that comic spirit. And in your retirement, you're gonna have loads of fun thinking of creative ways to market your franchise because you have that jovial personality, you have that presence. That would enhance your franchise profile and attract more.
Yeah, many people have talked about that, especially the marketing, gurus, as I told you before. Some of them, they think that I don't have to tie my figure with the brand, because when I want to sell it, I cannot sell myself. I cannot include that. Maybe I can include, okay, you pay me $10,000 per month and I can be your image. Or something.
Actually, if you talk to Michael, he can probably work that out for you, or Mary.
No, but yes, it's interesting. Everybody tell me that.
Mary?
I don't like coffee, but this one is different. So my question is,
But did you write this one?
and Peter's coffee. Question is, what is your IT?
We are starting. Right now, we are thinking about a CRM platform to work. So you can figure out, we have somebody that is, our IT guy. Like, I have problem with my laptop. Okay, but we are not in that level yet.
Okay.
I want to have the your card, everybody, because when the moment comes, of course, they will need all that kind of help.
Yeah, because CRM support, tech support, or customer support could be an important aspect of growth.
When we talk about the leads too,
Right.
they have leads and all that.
Right. All right. Any other questions before I give my final one?
I have one question. Did you like the coffee?
Oh,
yeah. Thank you.
All right, Nelson. One last question. What can we, as the Orlando chapter of 1 Million Cups, do for you?
Well, listen, I would love to be in some kind of special event that you may have, bring the machine. But also,
That guy.
also, I would love the opportunity to make this kind of presentation in other cities in the United States.
Okay.
So, if you like it,
we can talk about
I really
helping you with that as well. All right, Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone.
All right. And next, we invite Roger Farinha and New American Spring.
Like you, like the switch button.
Right here.
So, I originally put the proposal for New American Spring, but I'm actually featuring today an arm of this idea, which is called Citizens Activated. And it's an interesting product because it's actually a social product. So it's unusual for a for-profit product, but I've been developing the concept since 2011, when I did a movement, what I call a political soapbox in Iowa, in Davenport, Iowa, and it's been developing over time. And it came out of my book writing experience where I traveled the United States as a big rig trucker, and I spoke to my fellow Americans. I got a sense of what Americans' aspirations are, and the book is called The Socratic Trucker. So, so New American Spring is a concept for a what I call an organizational movement, a grassroots organizational movement to solve, to help address the divide in America today, or our social divide. But I didn't get inspired to actually come out and start trying to get the movement started until the brainstorm happened to me. What if the citizens activated aspect can be a for-profit, can actually be a for-profit franchise, but very unusual because it's a social product. The social product specifically is tying our representative actions, the actions of our representatives more closely to our will as the people. That is the product, specific product. There are so many different aspects to that which can be bring in for profit. You can have membership fees to the organization. You can have advertising, revenue, endorsements within the membership, etc. There are many revenue streams that can come in as a result of that, but it might take if it's going to be for profit, it's going to take a massive enthusiasm and effort to get off the ground because there are so many more hurdles that a for-profit have to go over than non-profit. Non-profits are more welcomed in terms of you're a non-profit, you know how to make a profit, so you're welcome to use our facilities, la la la. So if it's going to be for-profit, it's going to have to be a massive excitement that starts it. But I just want to get this concept out there right now. So what is Citizens Activated? Citizens Activated is a vision for a municipally based network of civic associations aimed at revitalizing American democracy by tying representatives more closely to the will of the people. So basically, every municipality, every city, every county, every state, one national. So you can see how massive the vision is. If it takes off, it could saturate the United States. Citizens Activated will have an online structure and a face-to-face structure that are in parallel. This structure would consist of 4 elements to include voter education forum online and voter registration drives face-to-face, political opinion forum online and political soapbox events face-to-face, populist action forum online and political action meetups face-to-face, and voter mobilization tool online and meet your representatives face-to-face. So that's, I don't have much time to get into to everything, but I'm giving you an overall view of what it's about. So it'll have an online aspect and a face-to-face aspect, right? There's so little face-to-face civic goodwill, embrace of diversity, community gathering in the United States. This is what it hopes to revitalize. Voter registration and voter education forum. Voter education forums will serve as the central location for succinct and objective definitions of the pertinent issues of the municipality. So in other words, let's say the municipality of Orlando, Citizens Activated Orlando. There'll be an education forum online where issues of Orlando will be succinctly defined and identified for the benefit of the voter. So that they can get there, they can get like a 1-minute read, a 2-minute read, a 3-minute read, and it will expand appropriately so that the busy citizen can just jump there, get an idea of what's the issues of the municipality. And then you have voter registration drives will serve as the main means to build membership. So the essential way to build membership is to register people to vote on their Citizens Activated. Political opinion forums and political soapbox events. Political opinion forums will serve as a central online location for members to share their political opinions and point of views with one another. So again, you can participate in the online forum. What are you passionate about politically, socially? You can share that in your posts. It's sort of like another kind of social media. Okay, and political soapbox events will be the central face-to-face events aimed at gathering the community to listen to, remonstrate with, and share perspectives. So again, it's going to require more time to get through, but Populist action forums will be an online place for citizens to share the political issues they are actively advocating for. So if whatever you're passionate for, clean water, whatever you can advocate for online, and then you can have action meetups that parallel those issues. Voter mobilization tool will be an area where you will identify what the issues are in the municipality, where you stand on it, and that'll be linked to the representatives. When the representatives come to present, they will link where they stand, and you will be able to determine quickly if that representative is going to represent you. So this is the whole purpose of it, for us to take back control of our nation by tying our representatives more closely to our actual will, to our actual. You can probably look at this. Education and registration will serve as a quick and efficient way to plug Americans back into the power system. Political opinion, political soapboxes will be the most authentic way to encourage Americans to speak with one another civilly and healthily. Healing of democracy is very critical. We will emphasize civil dialogue in our groups. Focus action forums and political action meetups will serve as a powerful way for American citizens to revive their democratic life, and voter mobilization with each representative will be the most effective way to help American citizens determine their most representative candidate, right? So I would like to invite the audience of this presentation to share with me their thoughts on this question. Help me by debating these sub-questions. What would be the benefits of a for-profit over a non-profit with this movement? Can such a movement be self-sustaining economically, whether for-profit or non-profit? How would a for-profit effort find investors? What would be their hope of return? And could the for-profit motive taint the social good purpose of the movement or make it leaner and meaner? That's the questions I like to ask me.
Okay, great. Start with one. Very happy that you got to make this presentation. There was a challenge in making this one happen, so I want everybody to appreciate that. I'm going to ask you before we get into this, because what hasn't been clear to me is what is your product?
Product itself is the social good of tying representatives more closely to the will of the people. The whole structure supports that. That's the ultimate product. So in other words, you're saying by Citizens Activated, become a part of Citizens Activated, become a member of Citizens Activated, if you wish to have America more closely tied to the will of the people, their representatives.
Right. I'm trying to clarify this so that the questions are in context. So you're looking at selling membership.
Yeah.
Okay. So whether it's a for-profit or a non-profit, the product is a membership. I think you've done a fairly decent job of identifying the problem. We can maybe work on that a little bit, but the product, and who do you think your customer is? Is your customer the individual, or is your customer going to be groups? And you're looking at the entire political spectrum, from what I understand. So are you looking at just individuals, or are you looking at maybe PACs or other politically motivated groups or socially motivated groups?
Actually, very specifically individuals.
Okay.
There has to be an individual decision. Every person seeing their country more closely to their will as people. PACs and groups tend to have ideologies and so on that are very specific, very partisan. This is a nonpartisan effort to actually just tie individuals to power structure. Very individual appeal. Minded, we should see your country help.
Okay, and we'll open it up. Let's start with Cooper.
So, several things, just whatever.
Pick one.
You need an elevator pitch. Okay. So while a product or service has features and benefits, you don't need to really hone, especially on something like this. You really need to understand the value of it instantly. Okay. And just bringing representatives closer to the people that's not, that's not intuitive, okay? What's intuitive is, for example, drastically increasing the percentage of satisfied citizens with their electors, or something along those lines, right? Because at 26% approval rating, right? That's what you're trying to fix. That's what you're trying to fix, okay? So I would come up with something, and I would come up with something that hits people between the eyes as to the value of what you're trying to present. And then the other thing, of course, is too many words on the slides. You need to just sit there and just know it and just tell us to it. Don't read your slides. Slides should be more of a background for what you're talking about, okay?
Next.
Yeah, that's the same criticism. Don't read the slides itself, make them a lot shorter. But what I'm really concerned about here is, what are you going to try to do to convince the representatives they have to pay attention? Just force the numbers, getting enough people to, because otherwise they're just going to ignore you.
Yeah, definitely. Representatives are always out to find platform.
Sure.
So if there's a membership that develops that finds this social good worthy of their membership, of their investment, and we develop a numbers, then that is a platform that representatives will always come to. So I don't think we'll have to go running down representatives. They will be coming to wherever there is a platform, because the voter environment is so inactive today, right? There are only very few people that are really active in the voting environment, and usually they're the ones plugged into power and the benefits of whatever the political situation is bringing, right? So, and everybody else is tuned out, because everybody is saying, oh, this country is just not representing us. Our candidates are just inadequate. We don't have any really say. So everybody's tuned out. Everybody's busy making a living, right? So that's what I was saying.
John? And then Phil.
Noble cause. I agree with all this saying. Your challenge is a toxic environment all over the globe, not only this country, everywhere. I don't know how you can make a business out of it.
Yes.
Right? That's the challenge. This is noble cause, no doubt about it. It's a business. You're able to walk on water before you
Exactly. I agree that there's a very toxic environment, and it's going to take. That's why I say it's going to take a lot of zeal for the for-profit to take off. It's going to take a lot of believers and a lot of zeal. But this is why this whole question of this presentation is, should it be for-profit or non-profit? Because you can always find a non-profit funder that gives you enough fund to give you the time to get it started.
And the presentation, make it simple so that we can have attention.
Yeah, I don't know, I probably missed it, I don't know, but I guess a movement needs a name, slogan, logo. I mean, if the people are gonna follow you, they have to be willing to wear your t-shirt, just to get it like a, give it something.
Citizens activated. So the larger vision is New American Spring, which is supposed to be a foundation. Then you have Citizens Activated, which is the adult civic arm for revitalization. Then you have the Youth Invigorated arm, which is a youth formations organization. So it's like a foundation, the Citizens Activated, and the Youth Invigorated. The Youth Invigorated organization for youth formations, I envision to be a nonprofit. But it is this question about the Citizens Activated. Can it be for-profit? To be for-profit, it has to really inspire. It's got to really excite, right? And as people are noticing, my presentation, I'm raw, right? So my presentation may not be exactly that elevator pitch yet, but I'll try.
I think the presentation has to be more screaming. Leveling has to be bigger. The presentation has to be forcing you to think about those issues. Trust, moral issues, they're huge in our country right now. I mean, it smells all over the place. It's just rotten from the inside out. That's where this thing comes in there. If you can give this message, but that goes in any language. I don't care what it is. Those issues are very poignant and very important right now.
Well, just before the last question or next question, I just wanted to let you guys see how you may contact me. I really want to have a dialogue with people that are inspired by this idea. Talk to me. I need to learn. I need to grow from your opinions.
Hey, speaking of the product, do you visualize it as some kind of social media? Oh, okay. So if it's going to be something like that, I would suggest you consider blockchain as a decentralized for the voters, and no one will be able to,
That's very good, because one very important aspect of citizens activated is to have independence, so as not to be co-opted by the powers that be.
I guess the question that I had is, it sounds like there's a lot of work of the organization. For example, at the beginning you said, identifying the different issues in the community and then having, you know, friction of it so that people can go online, get tuned into what's happening in the community. Like, that's what newspapers used to be, right? Like, reporters go out and evolve, and they're dying. So I'm wondering, like, where the staff is gonna come to,
Right.
Just get this thing even off the ground would require like a lot of legwork even before you could attracting people.
I am big on higher education students. I feel that journalism was one of the first institutions to get corrupted in America, which is causing the partisan divide, which fueled the partisan divide. Going to higher education, UCF, journalism students, asking them, practice your journalism. You are trained on the ideals of journalism. You didn't get into corporate journalism yet, where you're told, just don't write that, or don't write that because it's against our corporate interests, it's against the powers that be. The students are trained in the ideals of journalism. Reach out. So my thing is, I'm big on leadership that comes from the universities, from young people, young idealistic people that are still not so tainted by the environment that be right now.
I think first of all, making it for profit. When I first heard that, it felt icky. I know that's your main question. That's kind of what you want. So, but I would love to see you answer two. And if this is here, might be able to make it work.
Just quickly, what's in it for the politicians is to be able to get a leverage to be voted in, okay, by the membership of the citizens. And for the citizens would be to know that your politician is more closely tied to your interests, to your true interests, identified, as identified. You know that you are taking control from locally all the way nationally as a citizen. You are taking more closer control. You don't have any reason anymore to say, well, look at Biden and look at Trump. Both of them is totally inadequate. I wish there was somebody real, Yeah. In other words, you actually forge that quality politician from the bottom up.
Yeah. I see you have the pain, right? You're raw. Now, how do you make those three things work together? In a video, picture a video, right? And don't try to change it because that's just who you are. If you try to polish yourself, that's just not going to be you anymore. So try to make a kick-ass story.
What are your questions? As a voter, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. It's needed. But when I hear for-profit tie with it, it makes me profit. My opinion, not because you're the element concerned that this is all about me. And out of real heart, which I believe your heart is pure in your intentions, make it for profit. I think that's make people think twice about even. That's just my
response to that is definitely I'm I'm between for-profit and nonprofit. Initially, I veer towards nonprofit because this whole thing is a nonprofit organizational vision, right? The reason why I thought for-profit is because it's titillating, it's exciting. America is a culture that idolizes the CEO, idolizes the next Steve Jobs, you know. So I thought it could catch that enthusiasm, and it could still accomplish its social good mission, but it would require a great deal of excitement by the investors to put in. It's like a rocket fuel. You have to invest in the rocket fuel to get it up into orbit, but that's how hard it would be to get it off as a for-profit.
To respond to the rebuttals about for and nonprofit. Basically, I see the website as .org, first office, usually for a nonprofit when you see .org at the end. And my response, the actual question of is it for-profit or not-for-profit is just a formality of how is the organization going to get taxed and what is going to be on the paperwork, as far as the formation paperwork. And so that you can really choose whatever you want. I think your question is actually which way would it get monetized, whether it's for-profit or not-for-profit, which I think that Sean sort of spoke to, as well as this woman on the end, in regards to the question of you kind of need to know what you're offering to the people and who are going to be your investors in that, because it's going to depend on like what they see themselves getting out of it as the benefit. And there are, as far as just the comment in the back where it's whether someone's going to trust if it's for-profit versus non-profit, whether it's actually the social good or you're just looking for the money. There are good organizations that are for-profit, right? A lot of mental health organizations, you go into your counselor, it's a for-profit organization, but they're still there to help you. But the way it's funded is like they're using their insurance, they're still getting paid. But there's also nonprofit organizations that are mental health institutions, and they're getting, they're using insurance, but they're also getting donations from their supporters because they're going and doing community events for the youth. And so there are two different ways to approach sort of tackling the same problem, but I think your question to address is just whether it's going to be funded if you promote it as a for-profit and versus non-profit, because I think that will answer your question.
Al, and then I've got our final question.
Real quick, the dog chasing two rabbits catches none. If I was you, I'd focus on nonprofit, build that up. You can't do everything. Then once it's successful, now you could easily form a separate, higher level for-profit group.
But I wonder about that, because if funders invest in a nonprofit and then you make it for-profit, it might be an illegal thing to change a nonprofit into a for-profit. They'll be like, did you use this for-profit gain? I'm not sure. I'm not vested in that.
And that's going to be where an attorney is going to be a good attorney. It's going to be an invaluable resource. My suggestion, before I ask my final question, is really hone in who your customers are, who you're going to want to get money from, and hone in on that and what the product is, what the problem you're solving for them is, really basic stuff, and the solution that you're offering, and really work on that. Like Pamela, one of the things Pamela said that is absolutely true is for-profit, non-profit. When it comes right down to it, that's a tax identifier. I mean, there's a lot of identification and identity and persona that goes on with having a nonprofit. If you have a profit for company, you just don't ever say that. It's just you're just a company or you're an organization doing that. But really hone in on who you're wanting to write the check and what they're getting for that, and work on that. And the organization may coalesce and become obvious at that one. That being said, besides the questions, and I thank everybody for the questions and the debate that we've got going on here. I think it's very important what you're doing. What can we, as the Orlando chapter 1 Million Cups, do for you?
Well, number one is this feedback that I'm asking you to individually talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Help me to figure things out. And secondly, just the exposure. The exposure, the video networking, I can share this with people. Hopefully it'll capture the eyes of people that are interested in this subject, interested in seeing America become more closely tied to the people. Pretty much bringing back power to the people and not have the people be victims of powers that be that manipulate them, So one of the biggest things I talk about, I don't want to get into politics here, because 1 Million Cup is not about politics, right? 1 Million Cups is about entrepreneurs and encouraging one another. But what I find visionary about this fellow here was he realized that it's okay if the solution, if you're providing a solution, even if the solution is a political solution, if you're providing a solution with a business idea, then it's acceptable, right? So I'm not here to preach politics or anything else, but our biggest problem is our divide, right? And I speak against our divide. I take no sides, right? I actually see how the liberal and conservative is an aspect of our human evolutionary instinct, So it's something that's common to us. We lean one way or the other, and it's okay, but it's not okay to use it as a divider, right? So that's the only thing I'll say. Political. Talk to me, and and thank you for your offer to spread this, and obviously also if I can, as I refine myself, if I can make further presentations in different parts.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you to both of our presenters, and thank you again to everybody for participating. That is what makes this a good meeting. That is the value that 1 Million Cups brings to the entrepreneurial community. Is we provide, like I said earlier, we provide a safe space for people to get up and talk about their business and what they're working on and the challenges that they have. And we saw two great examples of that today. So I'm very, very appreciative of our presenters and to everybody in attendance today. You guys are great. Again, follow us on all the social medias, like, share, comment, and like I always say, if you didn't like what you heard today, it's on somebody's account. That'll show. All right. If you've connected with anybody, go out into the community and grab a cup of coffee. There are a few local coffee shops, locally owned coffee shops here in Central Florida, and we encourage you to help support other small businesses and other entrepreneurs. The big guys are doing just fine. So that's where we're at. Next week, we do not have any scheduled presenters. Wow, come on. Mr. Cappuccino would say, hey!
I can go, I don't mind.
So, if you've applied and you're on deck, let's do some follow through here. If you haven't applied, you know what? We'll get you in. Again, we're not going to be meeting on the 3rd, so just keep that in mind, and just keep watch on the social medias. As soon as we are official with going down there, we're gonna blow it up. John Tenney, who has an office over here, he's gonna do some skywriting for us. Rupert's gonna go downtown and he's gonna stand on a street corner and sing.
There you go.
Oh, he's gonna be a New York Catholic.
I'll wear my Free Hugs t-shirt.
There's an idea for fillers, right? Let's say that you don't have formal presenters.
We've got that covered. Yeah. Trust me, we're unfortunately getting good at that. All right, that's it. Thank you all very much. We'll see you in 167 hours.
Have another cappuccino.
Have another cappuccino. Thank you, sir. Roger that didn't present.
I didn't think it was me, but, you know, they're like, oh, Roger with esports, I'm like, really? Check.
Some people think there's only one Roger.
Let's keep it that way. Well, of course, you know, my first presentation, it was great.